guys, Kaden here, welcoming you back to Total War Warhammer, specifically the Imperial campaign that we've been pursuing. Now, without all that much meandering, let's get right into it and discuss some of the changes I made during the interim between sessions. Primarily thinking on how our infrastructure is set up. I've made a bit of mistakes and of course taking on territories that had their infrastructure spec towards one way that might not be the most ideal. So if you're unfamiliar with the way a lot of Total War games work, is that you have certain building chains. They lead to different types of units to be unlocked and different types of technology available. The other issue with, or the other challenge with buildings is that specifically you're going to have a small section of slots. Typically, of course, in this instance, 4 in minor settlements and 6 in a fully upgraded major settlement. Now, there are certain buildings that you can only build at the higher tiers of settlements, and of course, the very highest tier of settlements are only available in the large settlements. So, specifically speaking, Altdorf. What we have to think here is that anything below, I think, 3 can be built in a regular settlement. Anything above 3 can be built only in a capital. So this means that any buildings that have their cap out at 3, we really shouldn't have in Altdorf. We should be speccing towards making sure that the buildings that we need to get up to the higher thresholds have a slot. This means, I didn't even realize that we didn't have pottery production here. That is the other thing that you have to watch out for, is manufacturing trades goods. Regardless, what this means for Altdorf and for the Reichland in general is that we're going to have to move our livery, our stables, I think, over. Even though the menagerie can only be built here, I think that demigriffs are going to have to find a different spot. And we need to get rid of this building here, the rally field, as we already have one in Helmgard. This way, we're going to clear a spot for the Reichsfort, which allows us to recruit Reichsguard with the armory, and we also need to clear the way for the Altdorf Conclave of Battle Wizards as well as the Colleges of Magic. Similarly, in Nuln, I'm clearing the way out to move in a armory into the capital city, and of course leaving the outlying settlements to deal with the prospect of actual recruitment building. Of course, barring the menagerie. Lastly, there are a few things here like the city watch, and I think there's walls in another settlement that, in total honesty, here's the walls actually, we don't need. Our southern border is going to be pretty well defended regardless. That's not where the threats to our campaign are going to come from. That's something we do have to think about. Our threats are going to be coming primarily from the east and from the northeast. So when we do take Nordland and the outlying, I think, what is this called? Troll Country. No, not Troll Country. Ostland. When we take these provinces, we are going to want to reinforce those with the tall walls and the city watch and all that jazz, because they're not going to be producing troops for us. Our core settlements will be producing troops, specifically Altdorf and these provinces here, like the Reichsland and even the Wasteland, though the Wasteland is geared more towards the fiscal aspects. Also in Nuln here, we want to spec towards exploiting the marble that is available. Where is it? It'll show, there it is. So marble here, I didn't even realize we had pottery in the Reichland, so that's something you have to watch out for as well. And basically just weighing up the good and bad, because like we have these clothiers or clothers, and they give us some good income, but if that slot was occupied by perhaps, let's say, something producing marble, would it be better? I think it would, because we actually go to, what's this? This gives us income 375. We go to our building browser. The second of this gives us 150, but also 42 kinfuls of pottery, which we can trade. I think that's going to be worth it in the end. And of course, which is nice, is pottery caps out at the level 3, so we don't even have to worry about putting in Altdorf like some of the other resources buildings require a higher level settlement, and you need to use a capital for that, which takes up a very precious slot in the capital cities. So, that being said, we should actually get rid of this guy. You almost want to spread out some of your military buildings too, because if, let's say, that city gets sacked or if it gets taken, and you have all of your military recruitment buildings there, well, now that province can't recruit units. So, hopefully these reforms aren't too late in our campaign, and we'll be able to see their effects in the next couple of turns. But, that being said, let's move on to turn of 51. And hopefully I can keep my vision in mind, because I do have a tendency to forget exactly what it is I'm doing with the money that I have per turn and just end up doing nothing with it. Get the hell away from my troops.
The Celestial College implores that I hear you. I remain unconvinced.
I do remain unconvinced, Ostermark. What would you like? Trade agreement. We would get some cash for that, but not much. Ostermark, I feel like you're going to get eliminated soon anyway, so yeah, we'll take what cash we can from you. Kara Kern, what have you to say? A peace treaty. Yeah, we could do. But we won't. Because I want my revenge. Carrick Norn's actually coming to reinforce this. The front that they abandoned for some reason on one turn, and now they're back once again. Bloody dwarves. I don't trust them, as far as I can throw them. Have you ever seen a dwarf? It's, well, difficult to throw. Hey, so he failed his action. He's trying to assault our garrison. There's some war declared. We demolished a whole bunch of buildings, and we got a whole bunch of gold for it. So, before we do anything, let's get to that so I can remember exactly what I was trying to do. Alright, Altdorf has 2 slots ready for it. What we wanted was to build the Reichsfort, and we also wanted to build the Conclave of Battle Wizards. That's really expensive, so I think we should just hold on it for a moment. We also demolished a building in Helmgart, which we want to place a kiln into? Can we not? Oh, is it only in Altdorf we can build pottery? Literally, it's only in that settlement, is it? Damn, that sucks. I really don't want to build that there then. I guess in Wissenberg, that's where we can only build the, I see, that's annoying. Okay, so let's get rid of the gunsmith from here, so that in Wissenberg we can build the marble. Fieldorf can gain that which we just destroyed, and actually, oh, Master Swordsmith's Forge. Minus 20% recruitment costs for swordsmen, great swords, and knights recruits. And then plus 3% experience, or 3 for that experience. That's pretty crazy. Is this only available in this settlement, I think, or at least where there's iron? So if that's the case, unfortunately, we won't be able to rebuild our gunsmith here. We'll have to build it elsewhere, which, you know, we can just build it directly in Nuln. That wouldn't be too much of an issue. Damn, I hate that I noticed that. Oh, we could build a Reichsfort actually anywhere. That's cool. Okay, so we don't have to only build in Altdorf, but do we gain a synergy by building in Altdorf? We do have the armory going online there, so that should be fine. We'll leave it. It's hard. It really is difficult to manage all of these conflicting synergies between buildings, because you never really know like what's the best or most efficient thing to do. Let's build that Swordsmaster Forge. And in Nuln we need to build, what was it did I want? Nuln, what were you actually after? We need an armory, do we not? Yes, we need an armory. And then we need also to move this gunsmith over to here. But there's something else that I wanted to put there, and now I've totally forgotten what it was. That's gonna annoy the hell out of me. Oh well, let's build it, gunsmith. What does this say? Already constructed. Well, it's gonna be destroyed, fairly certain. And now we've lost all of that cash. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Middenland has some spare slots now that we need to deal with. We're not gonna have the money for all this. Oh my god. Alright, and Altdorf actually completed its upgrade to a bigger city size. Okay, and we got the Reichswerk built there. Cool. Now I've remembered some of the things. We have some population surplus, and we have a good amount of units recruited. So, we don't actually have the cash to try to another assassinate action, so
who calls?
let's bring both of these guys into here.
Drill! What is your wish? Ready. Bring forth items of power.
Alright, and we have enough room to make it to the last settlement of Hawkland, the settlement of Hergig. So, unfortunately, my friend, this is where it ends. Are we not in a treaty any longer? I hope not. You're actually at war with Ostermark, so let's take you before.
Time with petty talk. Make your offer and be done.
We will make our offer and be done.
What does the Emperor?
Alright, you're ready to strike. Emperor is almost ready to strike soon enough. And where he's striking, I have no idea, but it's probably going to have to be at Kislev soon. Let's take some time away from the infrastructure development and let's just go strike. They've got quite the garrison. Wow, look at all those handgunners. Well, it's a good thing we don't have any like super heavily armored troops that they can plink at with their armor-piercing shots, because they actually don't do a lot of missile damage to regular. Like it's only 20 damage. So of course to a knight or the like that's going to do a good bit, but to us it's not as much of a concern. You want to have crossbowmen instead since they do more against soft attack. But it's a here and there. Also 3 sections of mortars and a good deal of halberdiers and a good deal of swordsmen. Again, halberdiers not great against infantry-sized targets. As you see here, they have additional damage when attacking enemies that are cavalry size or larger. That means that while they do 27 damage outright, their bonus of 17 damage against large is totally negated when fighting infantry, which means that a weapon strength of 27, even though 19 of it is armor piercing, which is pretty good, a swordsman does very similar damage with 6% or 6 armor piercing, 22 damage. So the weapon skill also needs to be taken into effect as a melee attack of 32 and defense of 33 versus the melee attack of only 25 but a good defense of 28. So halberdiers do have their uses, just not very often against infantry.
Raise your weapon.
So let's just continue that siege, and next up I think it's end turn. What do we got here?
Now?
You're sneaking into Tempelhof to go have a look around. Frederick von Karstein's taking a good blow. And these garrisons aren't too great. Some Fellbats, Skeleton Warriors, nothing too hard. But the Vampire Corruption, of course, in this area is pretty damn high. Von Karstein's doing some stuff. Ugh. Got a Banshee over here. You guys are doing alright. The dwarfs are doing dwarf stuff.
Yes, my lord.
We are still recruiting and replenishing there, so we're going to turn to turn 52. And of course, our cash income... Ooh, I got an achievement. Imperial Architect. Our cash income has suffered quite the heavy blow. Can you not? I'm doing things otherwise, and I don't need sorcerers stabbing at the backs of my army as we're moving. Our income is taking quite the blow, as we've recruited quite a few units, and we're rebuilding all over the bloody place. Trespassing, built the town in Midland, demolished the gunsmith, gained some money back for that. So the gunsmith is being rebuilt, and we wanted to place a marble stone cutter here. Cool, that's the Fissenland all set up to the way I wanted it, which is nice. That's something we don't have to think about now. Averland still needs to have its upgrades. I wasn't respecking it. The Reichland we are still respecking. We want to save up enough money for the colleges, but in the meantime we can move... what can we put here? We want to move the stables over, I think. It's hard to say, because I do want demigriffs, but they're going to be a long ways down, and we can build them almost anywhere. But the few things that we can build in Altdorf, I kind of want to. Like, I almost want a Cathedral of Sigmar there. Because I think that's the safest place that we're going to have it. But ultimately, I also want the Luminarch of Ish. And you can only get that from the Engineer's Workshop. Equally so, you can only get... to recruit it, you also need to have the college... Where is it? The College of Magic of Altdorf, so you can get the Luminarch. I think you can build it in other places, but since we're already going to be building the Colleges of Magic here, we should spec towards having it. So let's build up a gunsmith when we can. Helmgart, you're going to have to build that stables. Alright, cool. So I think that's pretty much Altdorf respect. Talabekland needs a respect too, and I think we need to build training field here and get rid of the training field there, which sucks because we're not going to be able to recruit units there for a bit, but we'll deal with it. Unfortunately, Chaos Corruption is becoming a serious threat. We'll get to it. We need some Warrior Priests of Sigmar pretty desperately. And then Middenland, of course, needs a major respec, but what can we do here? We'll get rid of you, and we'll build up we don't have any money for that. Well, you'll get respect soon enough. Right now, you have next to nothing. We need to find a place where we can put the Cathedral of Sigmar. Thinking it's going to have to be in Marienburg. That's the next best place for it, as it's pretty well defended. Nuln doesn't really have much room for it. Alright. I think we should be good. You guys are pretty much fully reinforced. We only need one more turn, but I'm hoping our dwarf friends aren't going to get too feisty. Not too soon, anyways. And oh, you're the one that's trespassing through my territory. Where are you going, mate? 'Cause I'm really not having any of that. Well, we'll travel back just in case. And the rest of my armies are doing other things. So, turn 53. It's getting a little bit desperate. We're going through some growing pains here, and this is exactly the time when Chaos is going to find the chink in our armor. Usually this is when I get a little bit too spread out in campaigns, and I stop thinking about what I need to do and start just spazzing around and failing. What do you want?
My mood is dark.
Ugrok Kraktooth. Oh, okay, alright. Now the dwarves are getting, or the orcs getting frisky with us. Best not be attacking me anytime soon, mate. Looks like Templehof is just leading its way down to the borderlands. Another failed unit assault. Got some peace going on. Demolished a whole bunch of stuff in Reichland. Okay, that's good. Got some spare cash. And we want to build the gunsmith. I remembered. Thankfully, I remembered. And this is the slot for the college. So, Middenland, my god, you guys have nothing now. We want to build up, I think we should build the temple out here. That's almost a good idea. It's in a relatively decent spot that's near to the front lines. So, we do have time to build a training field and not enough money to build the stables. Alright, stables are next. Talabekland, you need to upgrade. We're not going to be building any horses here apparently, but we do want the chapter of the Blazing Sun chapter house. That's something that we want to aspire to. And actually, I just destroyed the stables here. I think that the stables were... No, I destroyed the training field. So this is the only capital I think I'm going to put a stables in, because we can go to a menagerie and then upgrade to the Blazing Sun chapter house. Blazing Sun chapter house will allow us to recruit knights, but also gives us a huge bonus to Imperial Knights, Reichsguards, and Demigryphs. So if we have both of those in the same area, it's going to provide a good synergy. So we'll have to build that next. We could build a tannery, but yeah, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna hold on to that. Trespasses, don't really care about. How's this siege going? Oh, it looks like our friends, or not quite our friends, but the guys that don't totally hate us in Nordland are helping out here. 50% chance of doing something pretty good. Let's try. Failure. Damn you, mate. I thought you could actually help us out. What about the captain? Can the captain do anything? What's your odds? 14% chance. Might as well try. Critical success? Damn. Peter Blaze, our Empire captain, has successfully assassinated Tattlegast Scion Slayer belonging to the Warriors of Chaos and escaped unscathed. What a baller, Peter. Thank you. I can appreciate that. Alright, so let's actually give you a war horse for your promotion. And you're at level 2. Alright, well, there we go. Just the war horse. Good job, mate. That's an upgrade of station right there. Okay, you guys are all done, essentially. Let's go reinforce our dwarf friends.
Sigmar forbids
And
this.
Sigmar does not forbid this. You don't get to tell me what Sigmar does or does not condone. Alright? And that's good. The Emperor is still just chilling up here. The Source Settlement is under siege. Oops. God, I didn't mean to do that. What do you mean Source Settlement is under siege? Are we under attack? Pretty sure we're not. Where was I recruiting those from? Altdorf? I think maybe it's because we did the respec. Yeah, that's probably it. Damn it. That's okay. We'll get that money back then. And with that cash, we can go ahead and build the upgrade. This guy, stables. All right, cool. At least now, old Karl Franz is free to do whatever he wants. But it does suck that we lost that recruitment. We get the money back though, so it's no big deal. All right, turn 54. I forgot I was moving that hero back. We can rejoin him to our troops, and it looks like Manfred was chasing the other guys? I'm not even sure. Oh, hey! The Hawklanders have finally found their courage, and they're sallying forth, which I think is not going to work out for them. That's definitely, they wanted to keep on the defensive. Alright. We've got what we got. Unfortunately, our two heroes are not going to be deployed in this battle, but I trust in our Castilian engineer to do this. Balance of power is a little bit towards them, but if we can make it work. I think taking those mortars offline is going to be our first act. I think that's something that's going to be really important. Then dealing with their massive amount of handgunners will be tough. We'll have to play it by ear, I think. Play it real close to the chest, because if we let those handgunners get too frisky with us, they're going to take us down. And so they are reinforcing. They'll be reinforcing from the rear. So they're probably going to be in a spot that their first army will be in an area that will be easily reinforced. So we can try to take the initiative with our pistoliers and get involved with their mortars very quickly, but those handgunners, there's so many of them, will probably cut our pistoliers down quite quick. Interesting terrain. Somewhat bumpy. If we can... If we can move down this valley here and be in defilade to their handgunners, I feel like that's the best bet to keep us alive. They're probably going to be spawning somewhere up here, so if we move our army quickly down here and then push up this way to engage them, then they'll have very limited amount of time to fire on us while threatening them from this angle with our horsemen. So I think that's the plan I'm going to try to pursue here. So let's take all of our swordsmen and just put them in a file, like columns, because as Napoleon taught us, columns are one of the best ways to move your troops around. Also take these guys and do the same thing. And we're just looking for speed here. No, let's add you to this group. Nope, I don't want to do that. Let's do that. And then our crossbowmen also. Everyone's just going to be trying to move as quickly as possible. And Castilian Engineer. Alright. Let's do this shindig. Oh wow, and actually, okay, they decided to spawn well further up. Alright, well, I wasn't expecting that, so let's change plans. Break into a run. Let's pause really quick here. This actually changes things, I think, for the better. Let's take our swordsmen this way and try to avoid some of their fire. Spearmen that way to provide a bit of a screen. Crossbowmen go up. You guys go here and flank and try to hit their artillery in the rear, and you lead the charge. Yeah, that was I feel like this is somewhat poor play from the AI, because this is definitely not what I would have done given this circumstance. Like, they're just going to be losing their tactical advantage of having a reinforcing army by having their units so far up, right? But hey, who knows what how the algorithm works? Oh my god, we're taking so much fire. Alright, we're going to just go straight into melee because I just want to disrupt these guys as quickly as possible. Those handgunners, man, can do a lot of damage. You guys gonna rally anytime soon? Probably not. Just want to disrupt them as much as possible. Bloody pistoliers. I really dislike pistoliers. Alright, maybe this was a good tactic. Maybe these handgunners can do enough to really justify having them so far up, because they are seeming to do quite a bit. Let's get Fierbach out of the way here. Give those guys some charge resistance. We want him to duel. Alright, they're dueling. These guys just want to keep pushing, honestly. Disrupt their handgunners as much as possible. Same idea with these. They don't need to be here. They should be up here. Chase all their handgunners away. Oh, I don't... Oh, okay. Those crossbowmen are running right in. Did not want you guys to do that. Get tangled up in the melee. Alright, their handgunners are running a bit too quickly away from us. Come on, disengage yourselves. Get out of there, please. You guys move around the back way, and yeah. We're just gonna have to push really hard, otherwise they're gonna keep kiting us. And if they keep doing that, they're gonna keep getting free shots from their handgunners. You crossbowmen, get frisky. Alright, the battle lines have been somewhat disrupted, but that crossbow fire, that's exactly what we needed. Where are the rest of my crossbows? Get in there, mate. You guys too. Oh, and you guys really get bloody tangled up. Come on. Yeah, you gotta take care of those. Don't stay still and take shots, guys. We're gonna need some troops on this flank here. You guys are chasing them to the ends of the earth. Our pistoliers thankfully have rallied. You two can pick new targets. Let's crash into their rear. There's just so much missile fire coming in. Alright, try to break up these halberdiers. No, I think crashing into these guys is to reinforce our swordsmen is a better idea. Man, this is quite the battle. We're not losing, but that's not saying too much. The pistoliers, man, they don't do enough. Good charge in there. And I really need them to do more than they are. You guys gotta fire into him. We have some units already fleeing. Melee troops have rallied, so pull them up, and you guys disengage while you fight them. Get in there. Of course, he's not interested in a character duel because he knows he can win a lot easier if he just doesn't. Yeah, look at this. Seriously, Pistoliers can't even take on Handgunners in melee. Like, that's ridiculous. I really hate Pistoliers. So much. You guys hold a defensive line there. Fire into that melee. Crossbowmen, get the hell out of there. My warriors that were like well out of the way are fleeing, and hopefully we'll be able to kill their leader before things get too desperate here. Things are looking pretty desperate like already. Apparently having tons of handgunners is the way to do it. And oh, we've been attacked by spearmen that have rallied. I didn't want to send you guys all out. Crush down that way. You guys help them out. This is gonna be a hard fight on both sides. I guess that balance of power was pretty correct, but
We are Sigmar's heirs.
come on, take him down.
It will be done.
Buff yourself against his charge.
Our weapons are yours. Take a position.
The enemy lord has been taken down. That's great.
Troops. Spearmen.
Oh, we're gonna have to take a long time to
Yes, General.
recover from this. Jeez, a lot of men died. This is bloody. I really underestimated handgunners and overestimated my pistoliers, honestly. I think we're gonna have to go try to replace all of our pistolier units with outriders if we can.
Ready for war.
Now, alright, most of their troops are fleeing at this point. Can head out over there, you guys. Battle's not quite done yet. It's getting there, but it's not over yet. With this amount of troops that they have, they still constitute quite the threat to us. And I've seen worse battles turn. Hopefully we can just shatter them by chasing them down, though. As tired as my troops are. All these melee troops, or all these missile troops are on skirmish, so they just run when you attack them. And by the looks of it, we're going to have to chase them to the ends of the bloody earth. You guys can stop chasing those. And there's a unit behind us. Go take care of those spearmen. Yeah, it's ridiculous how powerful handgunners are. Damn, like I was not under the impression that they were this baller, but I guess they're Sigmar's finest. Jeez. Balance of power is still like pretty skewed towards them, but we're winning it. Very close on troop count. But these guys, like a lot of these troops aren't even, they're not shattered running, they're just straight running. Like they're just retreating because they're on skirmish, which is really bloody annoying. Well, this is not going to end until we reach like the corners of the map. Those troops are getting shots on. Let's chase them down. Let's chase you down. See stuff firing at us. And yeah, a lot of them are just like right up against the edge of the map now because they've just been running. Bloody bastards. Gonna lose an unnecessary amount of troops because of this. Take him down, boys. Oh man, those those handgunners do like so much damage in melee. It's insane. Oh, let's pause before we lose so many troops due to really bad micro. That's insane. Like, even in melee, these guys, like, what is their weapon skill? Like, they shouldn't even be doing that well. All the salt pouring forth. That's insane. The fact that handgunners, like a group of handgunners, can take like a whole regiment of pistoliers in melee being attacked from the rear is nuts. I don't know what it is about these handgunners, but they must be like hopped up on something. Jesus. Pistoliers didn't even get that many kills. It was our crossbowmen that really shone out, and apparently our unshielded spearmen. At least we didn't lose any regiments. Oh, we actually took some of their artillery. That's pretty cool. That's kind of worth it. Gained some loot from that too. Gained a rank. Let's try to replenish our troops. Damn. What you up to, Nordland? You running away? Something's happening. Of course. And he finally succeeded. And we got an apprentice wizard, a woodsman. Those are two very good. That's what you were doing down here, weren't you? Well, let's see if we can assassinate you before it turns in. 30% chance to do something good. And it was a failure. Alright, let's head back up top here really quick.
Prophecy in the skies.
And we did lose a unit. I don't know... I'm not quite sure what it was that we lost, but we gained a...
It is time. Bring forth items of power.
We gained a group of mortars, and now that we have our heroes back in here, we're going to stand a bit better of a chance. But yeah, Jesus Christ, those... Well, what is with these pistoliers, honestly? Oh, okay, I see why. Melee attack 14, melee defense 9. That's... Have I mentioned that I hate pistoliers? Like, I really hate pistoliers. They just don't do enough damage with their range. They really don't do enough damage in melee, and they just get killed by, honestly, anything and everything. Yeah, I'm so mad about pistoliers. I'm mad about pistoliers. Anyways, it's high time to wrap up this one here, guys. So, thank you guys for watching. Like or dislike as you see fit. Comment if you have anything to say about the ineffectiveness of pistoliers, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you guys for watching. You've been wonderful. I've been Kata Hain, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Or see you guys in the next one. I can check you guys out too. Depends on how you feel. If you're feeling like flirty that day, then we can arrange something. Catch you guys later.